5 instances when teams regretted sledging opposition players. Edgbaston hosted the rescheduled 5th test between England and India on July 1, 2022. England was struggling with a score of 83 on the second day. The Indian bowlers were on top of Jonny Bairstow, as Bairstow struggled to make decent connections with the ball. That is when Virat Kohli had a word with Bairstow. Apparently, Kohli remarked that Bairstow was seeing everything else apart from the ball. Jonny, who was struggling up until that point, was fired up by Kohli's words. In return, Bairstow struck a glorious century in the innings. England faced West Indies in the third test in St. Lucia in 2019. England had already lost the series but were out to avoid a whitewash in the test series. Joe Root was the subject of homophobic abuse in and over. West Indian pacer Shannon Gabriel asked him, "Do you like boys?" Root responded, which was picked up by the microphone. Root said, "Don't use it as an insult. There's nothing wrong with being gay." Root was batting at 24 then. Post that, he ended up scoring a century. It ultimately resulted in England's victory in that match. Gabriel later apologized for his comments. He was also banned for 4 matches for his remarks. During the Asia Cup in Dambulla in 2010, Pakistan had set India a tricky target of 268 runs. The Indian team had a decent start in pursuit of Pakistan's total. In the 47th over, Harbhajan smashed Shoaib Akhtar for a massive 6. Akhtar then directed a couple of vicious bounces towards Harbhajan's ribcage. Both players exchanged a few words in a heated argument. Harbhajan hit a gigantic 6 in the final over to seal a historic win for India. Harbhajan erupted in a roar after the win. He directed it towards Shoaib, who was seen suggesting the batter get on with it and leave the pitch. This incident happened during a test match between Australia and West Indies in 2003. Australian side were dismissed for 240 in the first innings. And then Lara came to the crease with West Indies for 73 for 3. He was then welcomed with a slew of unkind words from Matthew Hayden and Steve Waugh. Lara and Waugh were later involved in an altercation. Umpire David Shepherd had to separate the pair. In response to the taunts, Lara played 3 cracking shots to send a strong message to the Aussies. West Indies completed a sensational victory in that test. They chased record 418 runs in the 4th innings of that match. Indian fans will never forget the T20 World Cup in South Africa in 2007. India faced England in a must-win game in the group stages of the tournament. India were in a strong position when Yuvraj Singh walked out to bat. Yuvraj hit the ground, running with 2 boundaries of Flintoff. Andrew didn't like Yuvraj's shots and engaged in a spat with him. Yuvraj unleashed on a young Stuart Broad. He thrashed him for 6 consecutive sixes in the following over. Yuvraj registered the fastest 15 international cricket in the process, a record that still stands. Which incident do you think embarrassed the opponents the most? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.